Hello and welcome to Wizard's Arena, my fellow planeswalkers. Today is our first ever, the Banhammer. We know Wizards of the Coast announced that they are going to be banning something in Historic. So I'm going to go over a couple cards I think are worthy of being banned in Historic. And the reason we have this issue right now is they released all of Jumpstart, not all of it, 90% of it, into Historic, along with Armaket Remasters in a period of about 2 weeks. So there was just so many cards coming out. And all these cards on the list currently are not from any of those sets. So let's get started. Hour of Promise came out in Armaket Remastered. So it's made more rampant happen. As a result, Ulamog's an honorable mention, but with him being a 10, I don't think he's going to get the hammer. They're going to wait and see how he goes. But that's where we stand right now. Is he's really good. He costs 10 though, so I don't think they need to touch him. So with that being said, let's go on to the next one that might get it. I don't see it happening, but it is the Decent Excavator. Now, rewind like 2 weeks ago, before Armaket came out, this would have been higher on the list. But because of Thoughtseize showing up to break combo decks in the format, I just don't see this one being worthy of it. Now, after this card, there's going to be a cutoff line where the next two cards are going to be much more likely to be banned or suspended. I know their version, they call it suspended in Historic, but it's banned, So that's where we stand. This is only number 5 on our list. And then we're just going to shoot on over to number 4 because I just don't see this one happening. Now, everyone's been whining about goblins and the 6-cost goblin and all that stuff. That goblin is not the problem. This idiot is. His ability to sack a goblin for a red is the gross part. Because you can have Cranko out with a haste enabler, tap to make like 4 or 5 goblins, sacrifice a couple goblins, put another Cranko out to sack even more, to get enough red mana to drop out the red goblin that costs 6 on turn like 4. If he didn't exist, I think, the goblin deck would still be strong. They got Ringleader, they got Cranko, they got the War Chief. They still have a lot of stuff, but they just wouldn't be this ridiculous. Also, they're using also the Phyrexian Tower, so I just don't, if they're going to get rid of a goblin because they're afraid of if they get rid of some other cards, should be this guy here. The thing is when you ban certain cards, other decks will rise up. So if they're afraid that the goblins become too good, he's got to go. So this brings us to our third client here on our list. That is Ugin. Now, Ugin really wasn't a thing in Standard the first time through, but this Standard has had such great ramp that they had to do something in Standard, and they're going to have to do something Historic. Because you have Explore, it's a green and a colorless, play a land, draw a card. Draw a card, and you play an extra land this turn. Nobody cares about Explorer. It's solid, but it's okay. Growth Spiral becomes much more tighter in the sense that, you have to pay the blue also, but it's an instant, and you have to play the land right away. It's not later in the turn. So that's what kind of balanced it out, but then you also have Earl, which I won't harp on too much, and now you also have Hour of Promise, and you get Cultivate, and you got Oracle of Mudai, and you got, like, it's just with Ugin, it's and. There's just so much ramp. So what we're going to say with him is that I feel that they're going to have to ban one of the big things. It costs 8. I can totally see happening because with 5 mana you play Hour of Promise and you get rid of, then you're up at 7, you draw and play your land and cast Ugin on like turn 6. And that's with no other ramp. Now, I mean, they might also choose just a hit Hour of Promise too, because that might be the issue, but I really don't think that is the problem. There's just so many ramp cards you'd have to ban to make Historic slow again. Now, this is the second line. This card and Skirrick were tier 2 cards. I really feel that these cards were, they don't have to go. They could wait a week or two. But the next 2 cards absolutely have to go to different degrees. The next one is Earl. And he's got to go. They've been pussyfooting around him. He's 3 mana for 6/6, gain 3 life, draw a card, and play an extra land. And with all the ramp that's currently going on, he's just way too good. So he's going to have to get the ban hammer dropped on his face. He's just making Ulamog good, Ugin good. He's exasperating problems we're having. I could see him and Hour of Promise go to. But number 1, they gotta get rid of this thing. Field of the Dead has to go. And the issue is just because it just sits there and it does its zombie making. If you had to spend 2 mana to make the zombie token, I don't think it would be that bad. But just the simple fact that you just ramp out 7 lands, because unlike Ugin, this basically starts working at 7 instead of 8. It's just so ridiculous. And the fact it's cumulative, that if I have 3 of these out, I get 3 zombies. Field of the Dead absolutely has to go. That's no questions. Earl, they might try to get him by, not getting rid of him, but I really feel like he has to go too. These 2 cards must go now. The other ones can kind of wait and see what happens, but that is where we stand. So my name's been Draymore of the Wizards Arena, and this has been our first episode of the Banhammer, and we'll be back here shortly in a couple hours with the results of what they've decided to do. But this is my guesses and speculations on what they're going to do based on this weekend's playing. So I'll see you guys in the next video. Please like, share, and subscribe, and follow us on the Facebook, and have a great day.